So this is going to be my attempt at the pain over joy book tag. I hope I got that one right. Now I've copied out the questions and I've thought a little bit about my answers. This is the first tag I've done in ages. In fact, it's only the second video I've done in 8 weeks. So I'm just finding my feet again. A bit nervous about being back on YouTube, and hopefully I will get back into the run of it because I had such a busy period with work, and now I'm free to get on with it. I'm also running a blog at the moment, which hopefully some of you will check out. I'm really into that as well. So the two things hopefully should sit nicely together. I've got to try to stop saying hopefully too much. Anyway, getting past all of that, the first question says, do you mainly read books illustrating pain or books illustrating joy? Now I like to think that I do read a bit of both, but yeah, rightly I feel like, if I'm being honest, I read a lot of books to do with pain and trauma and agony and drama. I love a bit of drama, but I do balance it out with the occasional joyful, just happy-go-lucky book. You know, when I'm Liane Moriarty reading, or Joanne Harris reading, or Matt Haig reading, it tends to be quite serious, often funny with Joanne, and often witty with the other two, but mainly quite serious topics which are highly relevant to the now. But, you know, like recently or right now, I'm reading a fun fantasy book. A little bit unusual for me to read this kind of book because it's about a dragon. And it's called The Dragon of Innis, and I'll tell you more about that next time when I finish it. It's a short book. I saw it on somebody's blog and I wanted to try it out. And it's just a feel-good book. So that's my kind of answer to that one. Do you see books about pain as more intellectually valuable, and why or why not? Well, no. I do believe drama is really important, but I also think that comedy and fun and lightheartedness is just as valuable. I don't think that they should be given uneven weightings or disproportionate representation. You know, I think there's plenty of them out there and we should all seek them out because it's nice to have a range, and you shouldn't just be rewarding seriousness all the time, although, you know, we do have a lot of serious things going on in the world, and that probably does reflect our culture and our society. Anyway, you get the idea. Number 3, why do you think major book prizes like the Booker Prize and the Pulitzer mainly award books about pain? You feel like that also with things like the Oscars for movies. You get a lot of very sensitive, very complex societal issues covered in films that get awarded. And sometimes you think, well, why are they overlooking the fun one? Because actually the acting in that was just as good and the script was just as wonderful. I suppose that's where some of the other awards that do give awards to humour or light-hearted writing, you know, those are important too. But the big ones, yes, they do tend to lean towards agony and tension. Also, you know, they reflect society's big bugbears, and probably that's why they get in. So question 4 is about guilty pleasures, and it says, do you use and agree with the phrase guilty pleasure? Why or why not? And I do sometimes, I'll be honest with you, if I'm reading something that my friends or colleagues aren't interested in, I probably won't mention it so much unless they really kind of pry or they find it lying around. You know, sometimes you have that thing like I'm reading a biography of a British TV presenter who's a singer. She's a middle-aged lady. Not that many people think she's brilliant, but she is popular in her own sense, and she's a great singer and she's had a wonderful career. And so a book, the ups and downs of her life, fascinates me. So I'm reading that one kind of slowly in the background, but I don't talk about it because I know my friends won't care or they might rib me for it. But yeah, that is a guilty pleasure. Now, number 5, do you think books centering on joy are also guilty pleasures? That's a really hard one because, you know, I read all sorts of books, and I do read happy-go-lucky books too. And I suppose, you know, I would share with anyone what I'm reading and I would talk about it, but you do tend to be more upfront about the popular ones and the dramas and things, you know, but there is lots of joy in the books that I read. Certainly Liane Moriarty, she likes to be witty while she's dealing with quite complex subjects. And Joanne Harris always makes me laugh, but some of her books are quite heavy in the detail and the circumstances. Although when you read her low-key book, well, that is one non-stop wit trip. That is almost a comedy. It's really good. So yeah, I've kind of answered that question. I'm not ashamed of anything I read. I think the light's flickering, which is weird. But there. Number 6, do you read in secret? Sometimes I like to take myself off and read quietly without any interruption. But I talk about books all the time. I'm a book reviewer and I like to share what I've read. So I'm proud of my reading. Like I say, I tend to look at the audience or who I'm with and think about what they will understand and relate to and perhaps focus on those types of books. That's kind of my answer for that one. Sorry I haven't been more specific. I'm kind of trying to answer the question without confusing everybody, although I might have just confuzzled myself.